Greetings everyone, my name is Nguyen Bun Kan and you can call me Apple. And today I want to talk about something that most people avoided to talk about. However, it is important, it's gonna happen to you for everyone out there. It's death. And you will definitely encounter it someday, whether you're in your 15, whether you're just born, whether you're already in your 30s, you're going to encounter it one way or another. So it's something definitely worth talking about. First of all, I want to have a few warnings before we start and delve into the topic. First of all, I'm not talking about the morality and the things that are surrounded, the psychological and philosophical things behind death. I'm not talking about the afterlife. I'm talking about the financial aspects of death and the process of dying. Secondly, I'm only talking specifically for people in the American region because I'm gonna read from English documents, and it's easier to find documents in English about American than other countries. That's why I'm only specific in American, so we can have more accurate and specific context as well as more qualitative videos. So first of all, global life expectancy. According to the United Nations, people who are born from 1990 to 1995 have a chance of surviving 60 years. For those born in 2010 and 2015, they have around 75 years to live in average. This may seem a very well-developed number. However, there are still some countries behind this average level. For example, in Africa, people are still living 12 years shorter than the average number. They actually live 21 years shorter than those from the North America. So this is still something worth developing about. However, there's some good news. For example, in 2010, 31 deaths in America are considered that it's among 25 years old. And this is an incredible surge amount of upgrading, because in 2096 it is actually considered only 12.5 people even survive that age. So it's definitely some good news. However, it's not as rosy as it seems, because this episode is still about death, so they're gonna die one way or another. One sad thing about these kind of financial aspects around death is that the more money you have, the more economics stability you have, the more longer you are able to live. For example, let's say you are a high-income man in 2010. You're born in 2010. Well, you're gonna have around 86 years to live, and you're able to survive that long. However, for a low-income man, also born in 2010, you only actually can live to 75 years old, and that is actually 10 years difference. Also, some people have said that it's actually good for the economics, because the longer you live, the more you buy. However, there's actual mental disorders and mental diseases are spreading, and they're currently affecting the old population the most. Like, for example, let's say Almanzor. They cause up to 100,000 deaths compared to the 293 in 1968. So that is still considered very large. Also, caring for these patients who have brain issues and mental issues, well, it's not going to be cheap, really. For example, right now, it costs $200 billion, and it may goes up to $1 trillion by 2015. And let's be honest, some of us don't have that much cash, do we? Maybe you have more than that in your bank account. However, you also need to spend on other things, not just for caring for Almanzor patients. So it's not considered very much either. The US is considered top of the list for the healthcare bills, and a chunk of it is spending for end-of-life bills. And let's just do an average for one person, okay? for end-of-life bills cost up to $50 billion by Medicare, and we haven't even counted the costs for home care that families have to pay, and only a very small portion of this is helped by Medicare. This is not Medicare's fault, nor is it Americans' government fault. Why? Because basically, well, they're also having to prepare for the economy, so basically it's just that it is expensive. And this is just a process of dying. We haven't even talked about what will happen if you're dead. So let's go on to the process of making a funeral. Well, an average funeral containing viewing and the burial plot actually have a median price of $7,181, and that is considered very expensive for the fact that you're already dead, and therefore your family members have to pay for you. And that much dollar, we haven't even considered the part of the burial or the part of the headstone yet. So basically, let's think. The part where you have to transport the dead body from the hospital to your home into the metal casket, it should be around $700. For the embalming, you should have around $250 to do it. And let's just do the simple things right now. Makeup and dressings for the person, that will take up to $500, and the part where doing the invitation cards and from honorable cards, well, that will be $500, and inviting the staff, the funeral, the burial, the cemetery costs, the taxes, that should be at least, add all together, that should be at least $15,000 per funerals, and we don't have that much to spend on one person funeral at America. So what should we do? The thing that you need to do the most is actually planning. Plan before your death. I know it's very difficult to imagine that one day you're gonna die, and many people is very afraid of that, but think for a minute. Conquer your fear. Go through it. You do not want to just escape your fears for a few days, and then some years afterward, your entire family can't focus on grieving. They have to straighten out your bills and debt, etc. So that is why that you should plan ahead. You can plan to the part of the funeral and the assets afterwards. If you have reached that level, you're obviously a very good planner, or you have taken some very good advice. Don't be afraid of death. Also, don't be afraid of the things that are going to happen after death. All you can do for now is plan for it. Thank you for listening. I rest my case.